Hi, Ben Carpenter here. I'm going to talk to you about steroids. So this is going to be a personal video. It's not going to be one of my science-based videos. So if you're only interested in the sciencey videos, you can skip this one. So, fitness industry is abundant with steroid use and performance-enhancing drug use. I class myself as a steroid-free athlete. I don't class myself as a natural athlete because natural is quite an ambiguous term because different federations have got different prohibited substance lists. So, for example, if I use Yahimbi, which I do as a fat loss tool, that would mean that I couldn't compete in some federations. So if I say I'm natural, it's down to debate. So I say I'm a steroid-free athlete, which is fairly black and white. So one of the issues with steroid use is because it's so prevalent, yet because so few people talk about it, it's common for fitness models to almost be resented, because if someone uses a lot of steroids and then promotes a supplement, for example, a lot of people think that that's false advertising, and in some ways I can completely understand what they're saying. So I'm going to tell you why I don't take steroids. Now, let's be honest, whether you believe me or not, there's not much I can do. So even if I make this video and talk really openly about it, there'll still be people that say I take steroids, but I'm kind of fine with that. It's part and parcel. So, why I don't take steroids. These to me are the biggest reasons. And I hope that this is kind of eye-opening for, let's say, young athletes who are starting out and perhaps tempted with steroid use. So, number one, possibly the biggest reason for me. When I first started training, I would see people in the shape that I'm in now, and I would say, I don't want to look like that. That's too big. At the time, I was probably going for one of those Brad Pitt Fight Club cliche looks. And then over time, as a lot of you will empathise with, over time you become more and more pinickety about your physique. So to start off with, you just want to build a bit of muscle, lose a little bit of fat. Then as time goes on, you think, oh, maybe I want to get a six-pack. And then as time goes on, you're like, well, I want to hit 6% body fat. And then I want to hit 6% body fat, but 5 kilos heavier. And it's this perpetual, almost like conveyor belt, because once you start fitness, it's very hard to stop. It's very rare that anyone ever says to me that their goal is to maintain their physique. It's always to push it to the next level. And I've already surpassed what my original goal was, yet I'm more critical of my physique now than I ever have been. So I'm a couple of months post photo shoot, but to me I'm actually out of shape compared to my photo shoot shape. So basically what this boils down to is I genuinely don't think I have almost the emotional stability to handle steroid use, because imagine for a steroid-free athlete, imagine there's a certain ceiling of potential that you can get to. Now imagine I'm on the journey there, whatever percentage of the journey, it's impossible to say. But let's say halfway there, for example. I'm halfway to whatever my potential is, which again is just a made-up figure. Don't argue with me about that. Now, if I start taking steroids, I'm not halfway there anymore, because there is no ceiling. If you look at Olympian bodybuilders, that compare them to 20 years ago, they're bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So to me, if I'm already relatively unhappy and critical of my physique, if I start taking steroids, my physique is even lower as a percentage of the potential that it could be. So instead of thinking I've got a little bit of a way to go, I'm suddenly playing with all the other people that take steroids. So for me, I think I'm in relatively good shape for let's say a natural or steroid-free athlete. But if I compare myself to other steroid users, I'm not in good shape at all. There are people out there that if they stood next to me, they make me look like I barely even lift. They could be 20 kilos heavier than me, leaner than me, and in their off season. I know steroid users who are like that, and compared to them, I don't look in good shape. But to me, that's a really dangerous road to go down, because if I start taking them, I think I'll be more critical of my physique. and I think I'll push harder and harder and harder and harder. And you know what? I said to a friend, and it was kind of said jokingly, but I mean it honestly. I genuinely said that if I started taking steroids, I've got such a kind of addictive personality and a perfectionist attitude that I said I would either probably become one of the best fitness models in the UK, one of the most well-known people with the greatest physiques, or I would end up killing myself through drug use. And although I am saying that kind of tongue-in-cheek, I do think there is an element of truth there, because I don't think I could be responsible with it. I don't think I could run a mild cycle. I don't think I could just do a little bit and kind of fine-tune my physique. I think once I open that floodgate, I think I will end up going further and further and further and further, to the point that I'll probably end up looking at my physique in the mirror and going, you went further than what you wanted. Yet I'll still be critical of my physique. So that to me is probably the biggest thing, because psychologically I don't think I could handle them. The other thing, which is the other biggest reason for me, is I can honestly talk to clients, and when they ask me about my physique, I can be honest. I can say what I take, what I don't take. I can say that I don't take steroids, and in a way they can have that as an inspirational yardstick of what is possible in the same time that I've been training. But if I take steroids, I either have to tell people and have to be open, which, let's be honest, opens a big can of worms, or I do what a lot of other people do and I lie and I cover it up. And I'm not that type of person. I've never been someone that likes lying. I've always been brutally honest. So I have two choices. I could either lie about my use, or I could be open with it and say, yes, I take this drug, take this drug, take this drug. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to have that conversation with people where I tell them what drugs I take and suddenly I'm almost promoting their use because I'd be in good shape, but as a byproduct of drug usage, amongst other things. I think that's a worse role model, and I'm gonna say it. I think it is a worse role model than someone's doing it naturally. That's just my opinion. So those are the two biggest reasons why I don't take steroids. And funnily enough, at no point when I was thinking of making this video, at no point are health risks one of the things that put me off. I wouldn't avoid them because of potential health risks. I avoid them because of my own kind of psychology and the way I want people to view me and what I want to do with the fitness industry. But at no point the thing that's perturbed me, there's no point has that actually been health, which I think says a lot. And I think you'll find that most fitness models in the industry, or most bodybuilders in the industry, would say the same thing, because I do think people sacrifice health to look a certain way. I know I do. My photo shoot shape is actually the worst I ever feel. But I just thought that was interesting, because so many people would say that you don't use them because of health reasons, but actually I think, funnily enough, health almost becomes a less important reason for people to use them. And you can read into that as much as you want. It's a very vain, very kind of self-obsessed industry a lot of the time, and I'm a victim of that as well. So that's it. I hope this has been interesting. Please feel free to ask questions. My Facebook page is facebook.com/Ben Carpenter's personal training. My Twitter and Instagram pages are both BDC Carpenter. And thank you for watching. Bye.